Today we're going to talk about the effects of climate change on the world, possible solutions, and goals to fight against climate change. Climate change affects everybody on a global scale. Sea surface temperatures have risen significantly over the past century and are predicted to surpass the 3 degrees Celsius mark by the end of the 21st century. Snow and ice amounts have diminished significantly since 1901. This is seen in the Arctic. The Arctic ice pack has been declining at a 13.3% rate. Tropical activity, lack of harsh winters in the Midwest, and floods in the prairie due to over-farming and climate change are also examples.
Earth, our mother, has been protecting life like a baby in her womb for billions of years. Surviving every cosmic catastrophe from the universe, she has made us a perfect home with suitable climate conditions and abundant natural resources. It took the Earth a billion years for blue-green algae to produce an oxy-rich atmosphere, millions of years to form the ozone layer and have a scheduled season cycle. Sadly, it took only 200 years for humans to demolish everything that has been established so far. The adverse effects of climate change is clearly seen, as the last 2 decades of the 20th century were the hottest in 400 years. As sea surface temperatures rise, the number of hurricanes that develop each year has more than doubled in the last century. If the situation continues like this, sea levels are expected to rise between 7 and 23 inches by the end of the century, resulting in heavy floods. Several species are already on the edge of extinction due to food shortages and smaller breeding areas, such as the leatherback turtle, who can't hatch their eggs on the hot beach sand, emperor penguins, and flamingos, who are experiencing a reduction in their numbers. Staghorn corals, clownfish, and salmon are dying due to the increased acidification of the oceans. If the changes in the climate continues at the present rate, by the end of the 21st century, life on Earth would have to face pretty big survival challenges, like increased frequency of hot extremes, heat waves, and heavy precipitation. Increase in tropical cyclone intensity and precipitation, decreases in subtropical land regions, leading to severe droughts. By 2020, between 75 and 250 million people are projected to be exposed to increased water stress in Africa alone. Yields from rain-fed agriculture could be reduced up to 50% in some regions by 2020, resulting in heavy flood crisis. The World Health Organization has already attributed 150,000 deaths per year to climate change. Reduce carbon footprints by supporting clean and renewable energy resources like solar and wind energy, plant trees, recycle, turn to vegetarian, to name a few. So let's wake up and take some serious actions to do some damage control for saving our planet before it's too late.
Goals against climate change is strengthen resilience and adaptive capacity to climate-related hazards and natural disasters in all countries, integrate climate change measures into national policies, strategies, and planning around the world, improve education and awareness in all countries, implement the commitment to undertake by developed countries parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on climate change to a goal of mobilizing jointly 100 billion annually by 2020 from all sources to address the needs of developing countries in the context of meaningful mitigation action and transparency on implementations, and fully operationalize the Green Climate Fund through its capitalization as soon as possible. Possible solutions here in the Baltimore-Washington metroplex is to reduce CO2 consumption. 1. If more people use public transportation, the CO2 emissions can decrease. slowing down the rising temperatures of the Chesapeake Bay, which will prevent the mass dying of oysters and crabs. Increase the use of natural energy such as solar power, hydropower, and nuclear power can decrease CO2 levels in the atmosphere. Yes, this is a more expensive alternative, safer option, but is best for the planet. An upgrade of the infrastructure with more natural supplies can reduce the amount of chemical runoff. Today, the infrastructure, roads, bridges, pipes, have a lot of chemicals in them, and that chemical runoff goes to local streams, rivers, eventually the Chesapeake Bay and the ocean, causing acidity levels to rise, killing many wildlife. Thank you.